The most dangerous person in any room is not the loudest. It's the one who says nothing at all. In a world obsessed with noise, where everyone is shouting opinions, oversharing online, and trying desperately to be heard, the quiet ones are winning. Why? Because silence isn't weakness. It's strategy. It's power. It's the weapon of emperors, CEOs, and master manipulators. And no one understood this better than Niccolò Machiavelli. If you think speaking up makes you strong, you're already being outplayed. Machiavelli saw through the illusions of virtue. He understood something most people today refuse to admit. That power doesn't belong to the most agreeable, it belongs to the most calculated. In his world, image was everything. And silence wasn't just a behavior, it was a tactic. A way to gain control without drawing attention. A way to reveal nothing while observing everything. Because the moment you speak, you give yourself away. Your values, your insecurities, your loyalties, they're all exposed. But when you're silent, you become a mirror. People project onto you. They underestimate you. And that's when you become dangerous. This is not a video about becoming emotionless or cold. It's about becoming unreadable, unshakable, and unmanipulable. This is the forgotten art of power through restraint. The modern world teaches you to overshare, to react, to be loud and visible. But Machiavelli would warn you, visibility is vulnerability. In the next 30 minutes, we'll dive deep into the psychology of silence, the hidden strength of being unavailable, and how to master perception without saying a word. This is how the truly powerful operate. And after watching this, so will you. The world seduces you with noise. From the moment you wake up, you're flooded with voices, notifications, updates, opinions, advertisements, each one demanding a piece of your attention, and with it, a piece of your power. But Machiavelli knew, the more you speak, the more predictable you become. And the more predictable you are, the easier you are to control. Sound is a trap. When you're constantly speaking, you're constantly revealing your intent, your doubts, your need to be liked. And the more you reveal, the less mysterious you become, the less power you hold. The seduction of sound is that it feels like action. But in truth, silence is more decisive. Silence is interpreted, not explained. And that's what makes it powerful. While others are busy justifying their emotions, proving their worth, trying to be understood, you sit in the shadows, watching, learning, calculating. Because when you speak out of impulse, you hand people a blueprint of your psyche. But when you remain silent, you force them into uncertainty. And uncertainty is leverage. This is why Machiavellian figures, whether in courts, boardrooms, or politics, rarely speak more than necessary. Every word is a move. Every silence is a trap. They don't react emotionally, they wait. And when they strike, it's precise. But why is this so rare today? Because we're conditioned to confuse silence with weakness. We've been taught that speaking up is strength. But that's only true when the timing is perfect. The rest of the time, silence is your fortress. To master power, you must unlearn the need to be heard. You must learn to observe, to listen, and to make others speak first. And that brings us to a deeper idea, one that reveals just how Machiavellian silence can be. Conscious unavailability is not avoidance. It's strategy. In a world where everyone is chronically accessible, the person who withdraws becomes desirable. Scarcity creates value. Silence sharpens mystery. And unavailability, when used deliberately, becomes intoxicating. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Power isn't held by the person who is everywhere. It's held by the one who is rarely seen, rarely heard, and always felt. So, when you make yourself less available, when you pull back from meaningless interactions, from emotional overexposure, from the addiction to explaining yourself, you begin to generate an aura. You stop feeding the illusion that others are entitled to you. And in doing so, you control perception. Because here's the truth. The more someone sees you, the less they value you. Familiarity breeds contempt. But distance creates mystique. And mystique is power. It causes others to project onto you, to imagine what you might be thinking, to chase your approval. That chase is the leverage. Because they cannot figure you out, they cannot control you. So the next time you feel the need to respond instantly, to explain yourself, to show up constantly, pause. Ask yourself, am I acting out of insecurity or out of strategy? Withdraw to create tension. Delay to increase desire. and let your silence be louder than their noise. Because power doesn't rush. Power waits. And when you're no longer easily accessed, something changes. People treat you differently. They begin to sense a shift they can't quite name. That shift is your rise. And it begins with one thing: the power of saying nothing. But now that you've withdrawn, there's something even more dangerous you must learn: how to observe in silence and uncover the truth others desperately try to hide. Silence is not empty. It's a surveillance system. When you become quiet, truly quiet, you stop reacting. And when you stop reacting, you start noticing patterns, micro-expressions, power plays, insecurities, lies. Most people are too noisy to see clearly. Their minds are cluttered with assumptions, emotions, and the desperate need to be understood. But you've stepped back. You've become the watcher. This is where the shift happens. You start to see who's performing and who's real, who dominates the room with quiet confidence, and who tries to cover their fear with volume. You start noticing the pauses in speech, the hesitations, the subtle power moves that go completely unnoticed by the untrained eye. Observation is a weapon, because the more you see, the more you know. And the more you know, the more leverage you hold. Machiavelli said, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand." What he meant is simple. People are fooled by appearances, but the one who sees past appearances becomes immune to deception. So instead of trying to be seen, learn to see. Instead of rushing to speak, learn to listen for what's not said. People are always broadcasting who they are, through body language, tone, repetition, projection. Every signal they send is a message, and when you're silent, those signals become loud. Power is not just in what you say, it's in what you detect that others don't even know they're revealing. So be still, be calm, observe, because the person who speaks less sees more, and the person who sees more controls the game. But observation alone is not enough. There's a deeper layer of power, and it's hidden in the shadows most people avoid. The next step is learning to harness your dark energy. Dark energy is not what you think it is. It's not negativity or destruction. It's the unseen force that fuels all action, all desire, all fear. We all have it. It's the unconscious power that pushes us forward, shapes our reactions, and guides our choices without us ever truly understanding it. But here's the thing: most people fear it. They label it as bad and hide from it. They pretend it doesn't exist, bury it beneath fake positivity or shallow moral codes. They are afraid of what it could reveal about themselves, their own deep insecurities, their hidden desires, their raw truth. But the one who can embrace this dark energy is the one who gains true freedom. Machiavelli understood this. He understood that power is never won by those who shy away from their own shadows. It's the ones who acknowledge their darker impulses and use them with intention who truly hold the cards. This dark energy is not chaos. It's clarity. It's the ability to take what others avoid and use it as a foundation for strength. The people who are stuck in people-pleasing patterns, who live to serve others' expectations, they are constantly fighting against this energy. They suppress it. They try to pretend that their fear of being disliked doesn't exist. But in doing so, they give up their greatest weapon. The truth is, fear is a tool, not an enemy. Once you learn to face it, to own it, it transforms into one of the greatest sources of power at your disposal. When you harness your dark energy, you gain access to an inner force that drives your strategy, your goals, your decisions. You stop being reactive and start being proactive, taking actions that lead to the outcomes you want, not the ones you fear. And once you master this dark energy, you become unstoppable. Because the world is run by the people who can control their inner turbulence, who move with precision and purpose, using the shadows to fuel their ascent. But it's not just about embracing the darkness. It's about learning how to use it without letting it control you. The key is understanding that the light and the dark exist together. There is no power without balance. In the next step, we explore how to shape your dark energy into a strategic force and how to wield it like a weapon in the game of life. Now that you understand the dark energy within you, the next key to mastering your power is perception. In this world, perception is reality, especially when it comes to power dynamics. The way people see you, the way you present yourself to the world, determines how much control you have over them. If they see you as weak, easily manipulated, or predictable, you're playing their game. But if they see you as mysterious, confident, and unpredictable, you control the game. Machiavelli's genius lay not only in his understanding of power, but in his grasp of how power is perceived. He knew that how others view you matters far more than who you truly are beneath the surface. Think about this. The world doesn't respond to the truth. It responds to the image we project. It responds to the version of ourselves that we allow others to see. That's why people pleasers are often powerless. They become a reflection of other people's expectations, losing sight of their own needs and desires. They become transparent, easily read and manipulated. But you're different. You're not here to blend in. You're here to stand out, to control the narrative, and to make others see you on your terms. To do that, you must master strategic presentation. This isn't about lying or pretending to be something you're not. It's about crafting a version of yourself that aligns with your goals and desires. It's about creating an image that evokes respect, awe, and even fear. Perception gives you the ability to shape how others interact with you. If you want to be respected, you need to project authority. If you want to be feared, you need to project mystery and power. If you want to gain trust, you need to appear reliable, but never too available. People are drawn to what they can't fully understand. The most dangerous individuals are those who never reveal everything about themselves. They keep parts of their soul hidden, creating an air of intrigue that keeps others guessing. And guess what? When people are unsure of you, they start to respect you. When they respect you, they stop questioning your decisions. It's a game of influence. And influence is about control over how others think about you, react to you, and ultimately, submit to you. But here's the twist. Mastering perception isn't just about manipulating others. It's also about controlling how you perceive yourself. The stronger your self-image, the stronger your power becomes. Once you start projecting the persona of someone powerful, people will begin to treat you as such. The secret to this mastery is simple. You need to be intentional with your every move, every word, every gesture. Every time you step into a room, you must have a clear goal in mind about how you want to be perceived. This means that true power doesn't come from brute force or external circumstances. It comes from understanding that perception is the lens through which all reality is filtered. The more you can control that lens, the more control you have over your world. Next, we'll break down how to refine your perception of power and develop a strategy that ensures your dominance, both in personal relationships and in the world at large. Now that you've grasped the concept of perception, it's time to move deeper into the inner workings of power. Because power isn't just something you possess, it's something you refine. Power must be shaped, like a fine sculpture, carefully crafted with patience and strategy. It's not about wielding your strength recklessly. It's about knowing when and where to direct it so that it lands with maximum impact. Machiavelli famously said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." This speaks to the idea that true power comes not from reacting, but from strategically acting ahead of time, from always being one step ahead of your enemies and your allies. Refining power requires you to understand timing. Timing is everything. Just as a chess master doesn't move his pieces without a clear plan, you should never take action without knowing its purpose in the grand game you're playing. Timing isn't just about reacting to circumstances. It's about creating the right circumstances to act when it benefits you the most. The art of refining power is being able to predict not only what others will do, but what they think you will do, and then doing the opposite, throwing them off balance. This is where psychological control becomes paramount. If you know how people think, how they react, how they make decisions, you can control the narrative. You can manipulate their choices without them ever realizing it. This is where the true genius of power lies, in subtle influence. Think about the most powerful people in history. The ones who didn't just wield power, they refined it, shaped it, and carefully curated it over time. Take a page out of their playbook. Think in terms of long-term strategy rather than short-term gains. Every move you make should be deliberate. Every relationship you form should serve a deeper, more meaningful purpose. When you refine your power, you stop being a reactionary force. You stop being at the mercy of outside circumstances. Instead, you become the initiator. You set the tone for how things unfold, and everyone else reacts to you. This refinement process isn't just about being ruthless, it's about being calculated, knowing exactly how much to give and when to pull back. knowing when to push forward and when to be still, creating a sense of mystery that leaves people uncertain about your next move. The power you refine isn't just about physical dominance or force. It's about emotional control, too. The strongest leaders are those who know how to keep their emotions in check, how to exude confidence without arrogance, and how to make others feel both comfortable and wary in their presence. True mastery of power doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, practice, and the constant honing of your strategic mind. Every conversation, every encounter, is an opportunity to test your approach, to refine it, to become more effective in your pursuit of dominance. And this brings us to one final crucial piece in the puzzle of power, the unpredictable element. No matter how much you refine your strategy, you must always leave room for the unexpected. The most powerful individuals are those who don't just control what happens, they control how others perceive the unexpected. By making the unpredictable seem like part of the plan, by embracing the chaos and turning it into opportunity, you further solidify your place at the top of the power hierarchy. If you're still following me, we'll now explore how to balance power with strategy, ensuring that your moves are both impactful and precise, creating the ultimate recipe for success in life and in the game of power. Before then, if you are enjoying the video, we will really appreciate it if you will support us by subscribing to the channel. It is your support that keeps us going. Power, when combined with strategy, becomes an unstoppable force. But it's crucial to understand that raw power, untempered and uncontrolled, can easily backfire. Strategy isn't just about planning the next move. It's about shaping your moves with precision, adjusting them to the environment, and ensuring that every action aligns with the long-term vision you've crafted for yourself. When power and strategy work in harmony, it's as if you're conducting an orchestra. Every move you make is in sync with the rhythm of the world around you, and you control the flow of the symphony. This balance allows you to appear both powerful and subtle, commanding respect without ever needing to raise your voice. So, how do you achieve this balance? It begins with awareness. The first step is to understand that power without strategy is blind. Without strategy, your strength becomes uncoordinated and easy to predict. On the other hand, strategy without power is weak. It's like a chess master who has brilliant plans, but no pieces to execute them. You need both. Power gives your strategy weight, while strategy gives your power direction. Think of it as a dance. Power is the force that moves you, and strategy is the rhythm that ensures you're in the right place at the right time. This is where many people fail, overestimating one element and neglecting the other. They either swing their power wildly, thinking force alone will get them what they want, or they plan endlessly without ever taking decisive action. Both approaches will ultimately lead to failure. True success comes from integrating both aspects in a way that creates synergy. It's about knowing when to push forward with sheer force and when to pull back, taking a more calculated approach. Understanding when to strike and when to bide your time requires constant observation of the playing field, reading the room with precision. Power and strategy should feed off one another. The stronger your power, the more carefully you must shape your strategy. The more intricate your strategy, the more control you need over your emotions and impulses. This balance allows you to dominate without appearing threatening and to achieve your goals without burning bridges or creating unnecessary conflicts. In practice, this balance might look like quietly manipulating a situation from behind the scenes, letting others think they have the upper hand until it's too late. Or it could involve making a bold move that shocks everyone, but executing it in such a way that it appears spontaneous, even though it was carefully planned. The key to mastering this is to always stay 2 steps ahead. Anticipate the actions of others and plan your moves accordingly. Use your power as a tool, but never allow it to dictate your every move. The true mastery of strategy is about keeping your options open while controlling the path forward. But remember, this balance doesn't mean being passive or meek. It means being calm, measured, and thoughtful, yet always ready to spring into action when the time is right. The moment you lose that balance, your power is wasted and your strategy becomes irrelevant. So, ask yourself, are you making your moves with precision, or are you simply acting out of impulse or frustration? Are you waiting for the right moment, or are you rushing without understanding the full scope of the situation? Power must be balanced with a deep understanding of timing, environment, and the motivations of those around you. The most powerful individuals in any field are those who never need to shout to be heard. Their presence alone commands attention and respect. This is what true authority looks like. It's not about the loudest voice in the room or the most aggressive posture. It's about projecting a confidence that comes from knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you're capable of. When you project authority, you radiate calm self-assurance. Others feel it without you having to say a word. It's an aura that comes from your ability to remain composed in the face of pressure, your unwavering focus on your goals, and your clarity of purpose. It's this quiet confidence that draws people to you, rather than pushing them away. But projecting authority requires emotional control. If you're constantly reacting to every situation, your authority will crumble. Those around you will sense that you are vulnerable to external forces, and they will seek to manipulate that vulnerability. Instead, you must remain detached, not emotionally numb, but emotionally resilient. This means you never let others see you sweat. Never let them see the cracks in your armor. In order to project true authority, you must also be strategic about how you present yourself. People are drawn to individuals who stand firm in their convictions, who express their thoughts clearly, and who never seem flustered by the chaos around them. When you speak, your words should carry weight. When you act, your actions should resonate with clarity and purpose. An authoritative presence is also about controlling your energy. When you walk into a room, do you feel like the air thickens? Do people stop talking and take notice? Not because of anything you've said, but because your presence demands it? That's authority at its finest. This isn't about being a domineering force. It's about being so self-assured that you can move through the world without needing to assert yourself at every turn. The most effective authorities are those who can remain silent, yet be heard loud and clear. They can stand in the background, observe, and still influence the outcome of situations. They don't rely on words or gestures to prove their worth. They rely on their ability to quietly shape the environment around them. Think of leaders who command the respect of their followers not through force, but through their sheer presence. They don't have to be the loudest or the most visible. Their authority comes from their ability to hold themselves with dignity, to make others feel both secure and inspired by their very existence. To project authority, you must also maintain a sense of mystery. The moment you reveal everything about yourself, you lose your power. People are drawn to what they don't fully understand, to those who possess an enigmatic quality. Your strength lies not in constantly proving yourself, but in creating an aura of intrigue that invites others to lean in closer and try to uncover the secrets of your power. True authority is not something that can be forced. It's not about controlling others. It's about mastering yourself. When you can command your own emotions, maintain your clarity of purpose, and remain unaffected by the noise around you, others will instinctively respect you. This is when you truly become a force to be reckoned with. Finally, let's talk about how to maintain your autonomy and power, even when faced with external pressures and challenges. Because once you've mastered authority, the next step is to ensure that you never lose it, no matter what life throws your way. The greatest challenge in maintaining power is ensuring that external forces, whether it's people, circumstances, or even your own emotions, do not disrupt your inner strength. You can master authority, project confidence, and gain respect, but unless you learn how to keep your autonomy intact, all that power can slip away. Autonomy is the foundation of true power. It's about being unshakable in your convictions, having a clear sense of who you are, and being unmoved by the external judgments or manipulations of others. When your autonomy is solid, you are independent, not just in action, but in thought. You are not swayed by the crowd, nor are you tempted by the shallow allure of instant gratification. But protecting your autonomy requires constant vigilance. It requires the ability to set boundaries and stick to them, no matter how much external pressure mounts. People will attempt to push you, test your limits, and chip away at your resolve. But the moment you start compromising your principles for the sake of comfort or approval, you lose your power. To maintain your autonomy, you must constantly reinforce your sense of self. This means engaging in practices that strengthen your mind and spirit, whether it's through reflection, meditation, or simply spending time alone to recharge. These moments of solitude are not signs of weakness. They are an essential part of your power. It's in these quiet moments that you reconnect with your core, And when you do so, the world around you loses its grip on your energy. One of the key ways to preserve your autonomy is to always remain strategically detached. You must understand that not everything and everyone deserves your attention or your energy. It's easy to get caught up in the emotions of others, to react impulsively to situations. But that's when you become vulnerable. Instead, you must maintain a sense of detachment, not coldness or indifference, but the ability to choose where to invest your emotional energy and where to withhold it. Your power is also sustained by your ability to adapt to circumstances without losing sight of your core values. The world around you will constantly shift, and external challenges will always arise. But if you stay true to who you are, grounded in your own sense of purpose, you will be able to navigate these challenges without losing your power. This adaptability doesn't mean compromising. It means recognizing that the path to success is not always linear, and sometimes you have to flow with the changes without losing your center. Maintaining autonomy also means knowing when to step back and let others step forward. Power is not about dominating every situation. It's about knowing when to take charge and when to remain in the background. The ability to relinquish control at the right moments is a sign of strength, not weakness. It shows that you trust in your own power to influence events without needing to control every aspect of them. And lastly, the most important factor in maintaining power is the ability to embrace uncertainty. The world is constantly in flux, and no matter how much you plan or prepare, there will always be elements beyond your control. Instead of fearing this uncertainty, you must learn to thrive in it. The more comfortable you become with uncertainty, the more power you gain. This is because power is rooted in the ability to remain calm and unshaken when everything around you is in chaos. When you maintain your autonomy, you're not just surviving in the world, you are thriving in it. You are an unstoppable force, moving through life with unwavering confidence, knowing that no external circumstance can diminish your inner strength. True power is not about the ability to dominate others. It's about the ability to remain fully in control of yourself, your thoughts, and your actions, regardless of the external environment. Now that we've explored the path to mastering authority and maintaining autonomy, it's time to ask yourself, are you ready to step into the realm of true power? Are you prepared to rise above the noise, project authority, and protect your autonomy at all costs? The choice is yours. We've covered the 3 pillars of power: mastering authority, projecting presence, and maintaining autonomy. Now, it's time for you to take action. Don't wait for the world to change around you. Start changing the way you engage with it today. Remember, true power comes from within. By taking control of your energy, your authority, and your autonomy, you will begin to see the world shift in your favor. But it all starts with your choice to step into your power. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content on mastering your inner power and authority. And share this video with someone who needs to hear it, because power isn't meant to be hidden. It's meant to be shared.